Hey, what is up, amazing people? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation Homebrew news and much, much more. So I have a jammed pack episode for you today covering a tiny bit of PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Let's jump straight into it. So the first bit of news will be this post by Sistro, which came out a couple of days ago. Obviously, if you don't know, Sistro is the creator of GoldHen. And so for the next release of GoldHen, this could be a new feature. So he says right here, Scanlines feature. So if you like retro gaming, and who doesn't, you will appreciate a possible next feature, Scanline overlay. So let's go ahead and look at the high resolution image of this. And you can tell right around there is some of the scan lines. So this will definitely be something that may bring us back to the glory days of us sitting in front of our Sega Genesis or maybe even our Nintendo playing away games into the wee hours of the morning. So again, we could get it or we could not get it. But anyway, great work again coming from Sistro and team there. And next up is a bit of news of a game that came out not too long ago called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection. Now, this is obviously for the PlayStation 4 as well as the PlayStation 5. But what was interesting about this is that this was basically just another game that held a bunch of different ROMs. So in other words, this contained an emulator to play some of these older games. And it didn't really take that long for the community to figure all of that out. So right here it says some more photos of TMNT, Cowabunga Collection Modding. Bezels are also easily modified too. They've put Sonic 3 inside of the game here, as well as they've put Chrono Trigger. If we scroll down to Super Mario All-Stars, to Final Fantasy, to Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, etc. There you can see now it is booting up one of the ROMs. And there you go, Killer Instinct by Rare. Here is another ROM and Dragon Ball Z. So anyway, the possibilities are endless when it comes to this, but this is just another collection. We've had many of these already that we can inject or replace the ROMs with them. So anyway, cool stuff nonetheless. Next up, I had to share this controller mod because I just thought it was so cool. And he was able to take this, shave off the back of it where it would still stick, placed it right on top of his PlayStation 5 controller. Anyway, I thought that was so cool that I definitely wanted to share it with you. It's something that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of doing, but something that now, whenever I have an old PS3 case, I probably will do. Next up is a couple of updates over here from Lappy. One of them being yet another secret in PS4 Explorer 2.0. Now, I've covered a couple of these already, but secret number 3, it says, today is the birthday of my friend Henry. As a gift, create a new file using PS4 Explorer 2.0 and name it all copy. Just like that, without the extension, and run it, share the result. So he wanted us to share the result, so guess what? I shared the result, and here is exactly what you get. Now, I must say that some of the comments in here had me absolutely laughing like crazy. I put in here Easter eggs and PS4 Explorer, you bet. Which one is Lappy, the left or the right? And so this comment right here by Rafi definitely owns the tweet that I laughed the most about. And it was left. The right one looks to Kratos to be using the Lappy name. So anyway, shout out to you, Rafi, for dropping this comment in here. Obviously, this is all in absolutely good fun. I am a fan. He also released another tweet here, which was all of the secrets in the Easter eggs. So again, if you really create a file called auto.ogg, there's another one here for cuba.mp3, all copy, Lappy, and then Polo. And that is all of the secrets and the Easter eggs. So that will probably be it for this series where I've been sharing them in the Homebrew News episode. Next up, we have, again, another video from Jose Gonzalez. But basically what this allows you to do is to put a special image onto any USB drive and to be able to perform the 9.00 jailbreak without actually inserting and removing the USB drive. Now, we've already had this sort of functionality for a while, especially using, ESP32 devices and so forth. But this is something that he has been working on. I did ask him in Twitter if this was exactly what I just described it as, and he did confirm so. And as you can tell from this video, the USB drive has been stayed connected to the PlayStation 4 the entire time, and throughout this video you will see that the system will be jailbroken. As you can see right there, GoldHen version 2.2.4 was loaded. Next up, let's talk a little bit about PlayStation 3. So for those of you that don't know, bgtoolset, which is one of the tools that folks use in order to jailbreak their PlayStation 3 console, it has been down for quite some time. And so a number of different people have been trying to figure out how that they can jailbreak their PS3 console with that main site being down. Well, there is actually a site now that you can go to. So this is the PlayStation 3 Toolset that is self-hosted by this user right here, which they've also put it over on GitHub. So now you have a way that you can jailbreak your PlayStation 3 while the other main site is currently down. And for the most part, if you find any tutorials on PS3 jailbreaking, they won't be linking to this working site right here. I just installed CFW with this method, and yes, it works. And let me also say that this is for the custom firmware. So this isn't just for Hen. So again, this is going to be something that will affect, for example, your PS3 Fat or your PS3 Slim, which is the early models. I wanted to thank Not So Typical Gamer for providing this information to me. Hey, what's up? Awesome homebrew people. Hopefully you're enjoying this video so far. Do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love to have you. Okay, let's get back to the PlayStation news. Next up, there has been so much talk about the Grand Theft Auto 6 gameplay leaks. And so this happened really all on Sunday, 9/18, where there was about 90 videos that was uploaded to YouTube in all kinds of different places that showed gameplay from the game. Now, this was a big deal, mainly because Grand Theft Auto 6 is like one of the most anticipated titles, and they've had, for the most part, this thing underneath wraps. But anyway, there has been a ton of different DMCA takedowns, which is why I made sure that this image that I'm showing here is actually one from Rockstar, and that this article has nothing that would cause this video to get a DMCA strike on YouTube. It has been confirmed by Rockstar themselves that this is a leak. Now, this story is constantly developing, but for now, if you want to see some of it, well, go forth, internet. And then I had to cover tweets you probably were seeing everywhere, which was people buying Oakage Shadow King. I did a video on this. Again, $10 well spent, I guess, for some people. But in short, there was a unpatched userland exploit within the PS2 emulator that affects all the way up to date 10.0 systems and greater for the PlayStation 4 and PS5 6, which will allow you to take a PS2 game, such as Oakage Shadow King, which is what was shown in the examples, and inject another PlayStation 2 ISO within it. So if you want to hear my take on it, obviously this is the video that you would probably want to listen in on. But otherwise, in short, we don't have any of these exploits available today. So if you do happen to get Oakage Shadow King for your PS4 or PS5, it's basically going to be sitting for a little while. Now, if you ask me, would I recommend that you buy it? I would say only if you already have a PS4 or 5 that's on the latest system software and you're willing to gamble $10. It could be like what we've seen currently with a lot of Blu-ray burners. People have been buying those things like crazy, and we haven't been able to do much with them, but we've been able to do a little bit. But it's still just going to be an investment today that may or may not pan out in the future. So the choice is yours. Speaking of Blu-ray and speaking of BD-J, there is a LUA server implementation that I created a video on just the other day. Again, this came from this tweet that I had where basically I was looking into the television and it had a LUA interpreter that was running on port 9938. So in this video, I'll walk you through on how you can run a LUA server on your PlayStation 5 in order to get things back, such as the Java version, such as running a clog server. Now, again, if you want to play with this, then you obviously can. I have a GitHub repo that will be in the description below. And here is the LUA server.iso that you just simply burn to a Blu-ray disc with something like image burn. And then you can call these scripts right here in order to get back the relevant information. Again, all of that is covered in detail on how I do it, as well as how to set up everything in this video right here. And then in the latest, most confusing news, it would have to be from Nintendo's very weird online requirement for Splatoon 3. What most folks are completely concerned about is that they recommend in their documentation to open up this port range from port 1 through 65,535. And I bet, as you are wondering, people in the security community are going like, what are you doing, Nintendo? And so again, I'm not sure what Nintendo was doing with this or who reviewed it. Maybe it was just somebody from marketing that said, yeah, let's just go with that. But the internet has not been so kind. And this is one thread that I was following, and I just continue to laugh at the responses that's in here. I'm absolutely astonished at how brain dead this support page is. I can't believe Nintendo is this incompetent. Just what? This is just open every single port on your network. But that is going to do it for this one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really want to have more subscribers because I'd like to provide even more of this type of information for each and every one of you. So thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael out.